Avtaar Soor welcomes you on another episode of South Asian Vision on Rogers TV. We are in the election mood. Municipal elections are coming in Toronto and in Canada on 27th of October this year. We are surrounding in the three good cities. All mayors were in a controversial mood. Toronto, Brampton and in Mississauga. Hazel McKellen have done a wonderful job in last over 30 years, but in the last few years, she's stuck in the controversy and she's living in that mood. Today we have in our studio Kevin, who is running for mayor. Kevin, welcome to our studio.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Kevin Jackal Johnston, and I am running for mayor of Mississauga.
Why Kevin?
Why? Well, I have lived in Mississauga my entire life, with the exception of about 3 years in my 20s when I lived in a combination of Toronto and the United States. I've been in Mississauga my whole life. I was raised in Mississauga. I attended St. Gerard Elementary School. I was baptized in St. Martin of Tours Church. Then I went to St. Martin's High School. My first job, my first real job, my first love, my first anything to do with first was all done in Mississauga.
Anything happened in the first time? You're running first time as a mayor,
I'm
right?
running first time for mayor. That's also correct, yes.
Okay. So what brought it to you to run as a mayor? Because this year there will be all new candidates for the mayor.
It's going to be all new candidates, yes. I realize, I did think about running in the past, but then you stop and you think that Hurricane Hazel, she's going to win no matter what. It doesn't matter who goes in there.
Yeah.
She's going to win. So I elected not to do so, and also I was still raising my children who are older now, which is great. Now they're older, they understand life, they can do things for themselves. I have time to do this. But I've also seen my city go from this to that.
Okay.
It's dropping off. And it's dropping off in a very unusual way that many people may not be willing to admit to themselves, and that is the stripping of our rights and freedoms.
Okay.
Red light cameras, for example. They are completely illegal.
No, we'll talk about
we will.
We will talk about your issues, whatever you have it right now.
Yes, we'll tell that, but that's it.
Yeah, but which area you live and what you think that you will run for the mayor, which is because Hazel has done a wonderful job in last over 30 years. First thing I want to tell you, we are not endorsing anybody. We are bringing every candidate's issues to you, so you make the decision. We are not decision maker here. You will be the decision maker.
I love the way you worded that.
Yeah. Okay. So, what you think that Hazel hasn't done good, and you want to come and want to do it good?
Like you just said, Hazel's done a great job up until the last few years.
Yes.
I would say it's about the last 5 to 7 years that I'm disappointed in where the city is going. That's why I've chosen to run.
Okay.
I want to correct those issues.
Which issues do you think that Hazel hasn't done good?
Transit is horrible. I love going on the TTC, for example, in Toronto. It's amazing how quickly I can get around town. But in Mississauga, I can honestly ride my bike faster to most destinations than taking the bus. It's not the right way to go. A ton of money was spent on rebranding the buses, but they're no better than they were before. That's it.
In what sense?
Speed, efficiency. People don't enjoy the experience of the bus because they know they're going in a straight line from, let's say, the west side to the east side, but it's you do this, you do that. It's lines. You see the entire city on your way to one destination. Compare that again to subways or the TTC, straight lines. Okay.
Now, what do you think that because buses were mostly ridden by not younger generation, by older people, younger generation, everybody loved to have cars. Why you think that that will bring the younger generation towards the riding in the bus than the cars?
Well, the economy is different. I had a car when I was 15. I bought it when I was 15. I had a friend of mine drive it home to my parents' house for me because I didn't have a license yet. And as soon as I turned 16, believe me, that car was on the road and driving around. But that was a different economic time. I remember being 16 and making $18 an hour at a grocery store and making $12.50 an hour. This is back in the 80s at a video store. Movies were $5, gas was 42 cents a liter, restaurants were about $3 for a decent meal. So we had money. Having a car, having car insurance, having fuel was no problem for any of us. But now, people are making $11.50 an hour. Movies are $13, gas is $1.35 a liter. Cars are through the roof with expense, and insurance is more expensive than some people's rent.
Right.
Certainly as expensive as some people's food bills for the entire year. So kids can't have a car. A lot of the elderly who have retired can't have a car.
Right.
There are a lot of guys my age who don't have cars because they can't afford them. You need to have a better transit system to make sure everybody can get around the same way that I can.
Since we are talking about the transit system, I have a lot of interest in the politics. What do you think if the region of Peel should have one transit instead of Mississauga and Brampton and Caledon or Oakville? If the Peel region should have one transit system, that will not reduce the cost?
It would reduce the cost if human beings could put their egos aside and work together. The biggest problem is ego.
Okay.
There you've got one mayor in Caledon, one in Brampton, one in Mississauga.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to butt heads on the issue.
Right.
Yes, you are correct to assume that it would be cheaper.
Yeah,
it would be better.
Because naturally the service will be better, their managing staff will be less, there will be one office instead of 3 offices, and management will be better, and I think they can provide better service with the one ticket only.
Yes, but people will get in the way of that, unfortunately. So I would like to do what you're suggesting. It would be a difficult one, and it wouldn't be one that I could do in 4 years. It would take a long time to convince other mayors that this is the idea, let's do it. Now, who's in charge? Everyone's hand goes up, and now the egos clash again. It would be nothing but clash.
So, are you suggesting that we should have one mayor for the Peel region?
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? We have one mayor for Toronto. We merged all the cities.
Right.
Sure, Peel region would benefit greatly from being one mega city. There'd be a lot more benefit to it, less cost. But at that particular point, where do we draw the line? And really, is that what I'm going to campaign on? Is that my goal? No, it's not. My goal is to work on Mississauga first.
Okay.
If there's going to be a merger of cities, that would be a provincial decision.
Of course, yes.
And we'll go with what they say at that time.
I just brought it to make it more interesting.
Sure, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I hate waste.
Yeah.
I really do seeing things wasted, or money wasted, or efforts wasted. There's a lot of waste with 3 cities. We have one education board, but we have 3 cities.
Okay, what we'll do, we'll talk your issues now.
Yes.
After a short break.
Let's take that break.
We'll come back after the break. Please don't go away. Welcome back after the break. We are talking to Kevin, who is running for the Mississauga mayor, and look like he has some issues which can be implemented if he win. But same thing again, we are not endorsing anybody. We are bringing the issues to you so that you can make right decision. I may bring other candidates too, because in Mississauga they are all new candidates. So there will be big fight, good fight actually, positive fight in the Mississauga for the mayors. Kevin, you have issues of the red light cameras. Why is that?
I do. I had a look at Edmonton, for example, who put in red light cameras. They made over $41 million from people driving. Now, I did ask if I was able to get my hands on the statistics of at what point of the intersection was this being snapped. Was the rear bumper of the vehicle 6 inches from the other line as it was going through? No information is being given to me in any way. It's very secretive. Now, we did find out it's a German company that manufactures the cameras for the GTA. They refused to give me any information on this.
Okay.
And a very dear friend of mine got a red light ticket, which we tried to fight by going to the region for it and by filling out all the forms, all the Freedom of Information Act forms, and just requesting disclosure for a court date. We were given nothing aside from, here's the camera, it's on this intersection, here's the manufacturer. We got nothing else.
Okay.
We wanted to know what the maintenance schedules were.
Okay.
We weren't given that. So as
what does the maintenance schedule mean?
Well, we want to make sure that the cameras are working, they're clean,
Okay,
the lenses are clean.
Okay.
Are they timed? Are they calibrated? These are
Okay.
all the questions that we wanted to know to build a proper defense. None of it was given to us, and we lost the case anyway,
Okay.
based solely on the fact that they wanted their $345.
Yeah.
Well, we took exception to that and we appealed and had a little bit of a conversation with the Crown Attorney, stating clearly that we were going to be charging him with fraud, because it's illegal to do this. You can't just say, give me cash.
Yeah.
You have no defense because the manufacturer of a camera guarantees that these are going to work all the time.
Okay.
And upon the threat to charge the man, I think he knew that we were serious, they let it go.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They let the ticket go. But why do we have to do this? Why is it that a camera is being allowed to be an accuser of a crime? In order for a crime to have been committed and brought before a judge, there must be an accuser. Your accuser can't be a piece of technology.
No, but if somebody is passing the lights to the red lights, if the red light camera is there, that will prevent an accident. But your issue is different, that there's no guarantee of the camera is working properly.
There's no guarantee the camera is working properly.
That is your issue, or the
Well,
cameras are there, that is your issue?
It's both. I'll tell you why. Because you have these cameras in place and you're not allowed to defend yourself in court because there's no evidence given to you in any way. There's no disclosure given to you. If you are caught speeding, or let's just say the police officer wasn't sweeping his vehicle and the radar clocked you incorrectly, you can still at least get his notes, photocopied and handed to you as a defense. And for us to go against everything that our Constitution stands for is wrong in every way, and I won't stand for it. They are a cash grab. They're a revenue earner. Every newspaper in the country refers to red light cameras as a revenue earner.
So your solution will be to remove the cameras or give them more disclosure to the public?
Remove the cameras. I would much rather remove the cameras and stay as constitutional as we possibly can.
So that will not increase that accident level?
No.
Because there are so many people who don't drive carefully.
There's been people that don't drive carefully because their skills aren't there. I don't really believe that people are deliberately trying to run red lights to cause accidents. Skill has to be taught. And honestly, I did take the driver's education class. It's horrible. They don't teach you a lot or enough. And there's also a lot of people that just don't have confidence in themselves. So they're driving vehicles like this.
So it means when they are taking the license, when they are giving a tester license, people are not qualified over there who's taking license? That's what you're saying?
Some teachers are not qualified. Not all,
no,
but some.
I'm talking about person who taking the test.
So there's a lot of people.
Yeah, teachers are different thing, because person who taking a test and issue the license, he's responsible for the issuing the license, not the teacher, I think.
Sure. Well, everybody is responsible for it, but it doesn't change the fact that a lot of people get their driver's license. They don't really care about it. They want to pass a test, and now they're on the road. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everybody out there is a bad driver, but there are some bad drivers. And there are some people who just don't pay attention. But when you're clearing an intersection, if your car enters the intersection when the light is yellow,
Right.
and it turns red before the whole vehicle is out of the intersection,
Right.
and then the camera is snapping that photograph,
Right.
you haven't run a red light.
No.
You've cleared the intersection, and you're
Yeah.
getting fined for it, and you're being told you have no defense.
I think there is how much I know that once you enter the red yellow light, it's only I think 1 second. That's a grace period. If it's less than, it's more than 1 second, then you got the ticket. Otherwise,
We don't know. They wouldn't tell me the timing on it. You see, that was the
because
problem.
I got once. That's why
Yes.
how I noticed it.
Well, there
Okay.
it is.
Anyway,
Okay, we move
let's
on.
let's go to your next issue. Free internet. Holy smoke!
Free internet.
Holy smoke!
We need to do this.
Okay.
I'm paying $110 per month right now for internet service, which is good, but it's worth about a third of what I'm paying, and that's the truth. I'm not going to give the name of the company, but I will say that I'm not happy with the service. It drops out a lot.
Okay.
There's been problems with the lines. There's been problems with peak times. Nonetheless, I'm paying for it because I can afford it. A lot of people can't afford it, and I don't mock people for that. I actually sympathize. 120, 150 in some cases feeds people for up to 2 weeks.
So you're talking about free Wi-Fi or free internet?
No, it has to be Wi-Fi.
Okay.
We can't pay for lines to go into people's
Right,
homes.
right.
It has to be Wi-Fi,
Okay.
which we already have in our libraries
Right.
and City Hall. And so long as you've got your library card, you can log in. Sometimes it's not even locked, so you can just log in freely. Well, why not go to the next level? Let's make sure every single citizen of Mississauga has access to entertainment, number one, but more importantly, education and news. Because in some cases, cable television or satellite TV is also extremely expensive.
Right.
You bundle the two of them together, now you're looking at $3,000 per year for internet and entertainment.
But in these days, everybody have most of the people, not everybody, have the smart devices, and smart devices, they have internet on their handheld devices. What Wi-Fi will add into their life?
For them, they're not always going to be on the phone. What happens when your battery dies on the phone?
Right.
Pop the laptop out. Now you can finish your homework. You have a computer at home, or you have a smart television at home. You're not always going to be on the phone.
Right.
And there are a lot of people out there who are still terrified that cell phones cause cancer, so they use them for the minimal amount of time that they can,
Right.
turn them off, put them down, and now they want to use their laptop. I don't want people deciding between getting online to learn about important issues in their own city or choosing food. We don't want that. I want it to be, you choose food all the time, now you're online, here we go. If you're concerned about how do we pay for it, well, we put ad banners up on the service. People will tolerate a 30-second commercial to get free internet. They will tolerate it because we tolerate it now with YouTube, 10-second commercials before videos start.
Okay, next issue is your ice rental prices. What does that mean?
Ice rental prices are extremely high in the GTA. Hockey is part of Canadian culture,
Right.
and we are very rapidly losing Canadian culture. That's not an insult to foreigners. I like having foreign money coming in, but Canadians have to understand that our country was built on hockey. It's our game. Even though lacrosse is our official summer sport, it doesn't change the fact that we have ice. Hockey, it's the love.
Okay.
Canadians go insane when our Olympic team wins, and so they should. We need to make it more affordable for people to indulge in our culture.
Okay.
Soccer is not Canadian culture. It's part of what we do, but it's not culture. You can't afford hockey, your culture begins to nosedive. That concerns me. But it also concerns me in that I've worked for a couple of private arenas, and I see how much work it is to make them profitable. Our arenas are not being run for profit, but they could make a ton of money if we ran them properly.
Okay.
Let's take what we already have, make money with it by making it affordable, and I want to make sure that every pad of ice in the city is rented out 23 hours per day with the 1 hour per day for maintenance.
You're watching South Asian Vision with Avtaar Soor on Rogers Community Channel. We are talking to Kevin, who is running for the mayor in Mississauga. We'll be right back. Welcome back on the South Asian Vision TV program, which you're watching on the Rogers 10 Community Channel. We are talking to Kevin, who is running for the mayor in Mississauga. You have given us your issues of the red light camera to be removed. Traffic lights, of course, there will be green. Oh yeah, one issue is a very good issue.
We haven't talked about that. Yes.
Green lights.
Green lights.
So you want only green lights in the Mississauga, no red lights?
Wouldn't that be nice? If only that worked. But here's what I do want. I lived in Hamilton for a short while in my early 20s. King Street in Hamilton has lights that when you start from the downtown core all the way to the QEW.
But that's one way street,
Yes,
I think.
I understand that, but it's still green, 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 green.
Yeah.
You get green all the way out of town.
Right.
So you're moving this bunch of cars, and people are happy with that. And it still goes on today. Winnipeg, late at night, will turn their main drags into flashing yellows.
Okay.
So you can drive at the speed limit, just go right across town. And in Hamilton, same idea. If you do the speed limit exactly, you catch every green light.
Right.
Here, everybody's stressed out. I hate being a passenger in cars because everybody's yelling and shouting at the lights. They're not synced and they're not timed. We need to have at least 3 of our major drags timed so that people can get from Oakville to Toronto and vice versa in a straight line with maximum 3 red lights.
Now correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
If you reach to a light in a red light, you will get every red light. If you reach to the lighting intersection with a green light, you will get at least I think 5 or 6 intersection with a green light. Is that not thing?
That's not been my experience, not in Mississauga, no.
Okay.
There's a lot of traffic in Mississauga, obviously, so we're not going to have the freedom to sync it perfectly for every single street.
Okay.
But I live in Meadowvale. I'm at Britannia and Winston Churchill area. I'm over by the mall.
Okay.
My mother, where I grew up, is in Cooksville,
Okay.
which is right down by the Woodlands
Right.
High School.
Right.
It takes me 50 minutes in most cases. Now, sometimes 30 is about the average, but in a lot of cases, 50 minutes inside of my own town, beating red lights, trying to beat red lights to get to my mother's house. By the time I get there, I'm a little agitated. Sorry, I dropped the microphone. I'm a little agitated by the time I get there, a little frustrated, and it's taken better part of an hour to do so.
Okay.
Considering that my mother's only 11 kilometers away, it should be 17 minutes like Google Maps says that it is.
Okay.
Let's time those lights.
I don't believe in the much Google Maps because I know it in one intersection. There's a railway station. They say turn right.
They're not perfect, but they're not bad either.
Okay.
Right.
You have brought all the issues where money is being spent.
Yes.
And your one issue is a very big issue that you will freeze the property taxes.
Yes.
Where those funding will come from, which you want to bring it to the city.
I want to bring in corporations. I want to bring in businesses. And right now in the city of Mississauga, it's very difficult to bring a business in, open your doors, and be profitable. Part of the problem is the number of regulations and rules, but also with how strictly they're enforced. Best example that I can give you is a very good friend of mine opened a fighting gym.
Okay.
And 2 days before the gym was to open, after spending over $600,000, an inspector came by saying, you can't open, you only have 22 parking spaces, you have to have 23.
Okay.
So the landlord had to come in and bulldoze part of his fence to make an extra parking space just to get a business opened.
Okay.
We have to eliminate that. If you make it really easy for companies to come here and open their doors, that's where your revenue comes from. Bring it in from private enterprise. We don't need to take it from people who are already overtaxed in this country. The other thing is, if you want more residences, we no longer have the freedom to sell land like was done in the past.
Right.
We're running out of it. So we have to now look at tearing down some of the 2- and 3-story buildings that people are living in and building 50- and 60-story buildings in their place. Let's get property tax from more people in the same location. If more people are right downtown, more people spend more money right downtown, and more tax dollars are brought in from more people right downtown.
So you have proper business plan how the money will come in.
Yes.
To cover those issues which you have.
Yes. I don't want to take it from people who can't afford it.
Okay.
Take it from businesses, but don't take too much from businesses. Just have more businesses come to Mississauga.
Okay.
Let them know that it's easy to be here.
You want to say something at the end?
I do indeed.
Short.
Short. My name is Kevin Jackal Johnston. I was raised in Mississauga. I live in Mississauga. I raise my children in Mississauga. I love Mississauga. I would encourage you to vote for me because I am not tainted. I'm not part of any particular political party in any way. I have no favors that I owe to anybody. And I have no bribes and no cash that I have to make sure other people get. I'm a guy who wants to see his city flourish. That's it. I love where I am. Please vote for the guy that loves his city, and please consider not voting for the individuals who just like the paycheck. And speaking of the paycheck, put me in office, I am going to reduce the mayor's salary by $30,000 annually. It doesn't have to be as high as it is. I am okay with making less and doing more. Fair pay for fair work. I honestly believe right now the salary is just too high. Let's leave that money in the city coffers. It's your money anyway. I don't want to take it from you.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you very much for
we'll
having
talk
me.
later in the near future to explore more of your expertise and your visions. Viewers, you was watching Kevin, who is running for the mayor in Mississauga. We don't endorse anybody, but we bring their issues to you so that you can make your decision right. Because any candidate who is running for any position in the Peel region in Brampton or Mississauga, they are welcome here. We can sit and discuss their issues, which our viewers or your voters can take advantage of it. Until next time, thank you very much. Please stay.